Hey guys, welcome back to the Engineered Angler. UPS just dropped off a package that has something in it that's going to make it possible for me to continue to fish in my lake. Let's go outside and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And the reason I got this is a little bit heartbreaking. We haven't had any rain in more than 5 months and everything is drying up. We actually have got almost no water under the dock. And look at Illumina, my little decked out aluminum rowboat turned bass boat is hard up. This is so depressing. The water line used to come up all the way up there. And now the lake has receded way down where you can start seeing things come up out of the bottom. With the water level down this low, for some reason the breaker that provides power to the dock just keeps tripping. That means I can't charge the battery on the boat and the bilge pump could just fail on me. Before I can do anything to charge that battery, I've got to get this boat around to the front side of this dock. Let's do that and then we'll do an unboxing with that solar panel. Now I got to make my way through this high grass and avoid water moccasins. That's why I got these really high boots on. Try to get this thing off the mud. Oh my God, it's gonna be tough. Doesn't really want to go, does it? Maybe not. Crap, I'm gonna have to get a come along. So while Heartbroken Me continues to struggle to get my absolute favorite boat out of the mud, let's go ahead and open this thing up and do something a little bit fun. So what we have is 200 watts in a suitcase from Zoupw. These guys got in touch with me and asked me if I would like their premier portable solar panel array. They had some monstrosity. It was just a really big panel. I think it was 300 watts. And I told them, no, I don't need anything that big. I do need some portable power. And I didn't want anything huge. So I wanted to go with something sort of middle of the road. A 200 watt would do the job. I knew it could charge 1 or even 2 batteries at one time. But I could have gone with a 100 watt version because that would do the job for just a little bit cheaper. But I did insist on getting one with a charge controller. And if you're gonna do this kind of thing, I recommend that. You can always buy your own charge controller, but I prefer to get the one from the same manufacturer. They agreed after a while, a little bit of negotiation, but they did offer it to me for free. Just so you guys know, we're gonna put it to the test. I'm sure it's quality, but we won't know till we get it fully set up. So let's take a look and see what we got. Some basic instructions. The user manual, which is nice and simple and concise. So the solar panels are 200 watts. And the key numbers here are the maximum current that it'll output, that's 10.4 amps. And then the open circuit voltage, which is something we'll test with the multimeter, is 23.1 volts. The other key elements are that it's IP68, so that's basically rainproof and dustproof, and the operating temperatures are -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So it'll work in some pretty broad environments, and it tells you what kind of compatibilities it does have with batteries. It's strictly for 12-volt batteries, lead acid and lithium iron phosphate. And it gives you a simple setup schematic that's really easy to follow. And I'm doing all this in the shade, not just to not get a sunburn, but I don't want these things to power up too much while we pull them out. Now, we've got a good array of connectors. These are all charging connectors with multiple styles so that you can plug them into just about anything. And this is also an adapter as well. This is your typical solar panel connector. They're waterproof, and you've got a pigtail that comes off of them. And you've got some typical battery terminal clamps as well. And it comes with adapters for just about every kind of connector I've ever seen. Here's the little key piece of kit. It's our charge controller. We've got power in from the solar panels, and you've got the power out, which has the same connector as your battery terminal clamps, which allows you to just quickly clamp on to your batteries. Now, you can do a custom connection so that you can have a quick connect on your deck, whatever you want. This is all just regular DC, so red is positive, black is negative, and you can connect however you want. Now, the only thing you have to remember is that on the input side of the charge controller, the voltage and amperage is going to vary, so you can't really run anything with any real consistency and power. So you really do have to have a way to smooth out that power with a charge controller. That's what this does for us. Now, this review is really not a technician level or an engineer's level review. I'm simply doing it at a level of the user end. So giving you just enough information so that you can decide whether you want something like this and whether something like this can meet your needs. But mostly what matters is how much power we can get out of them on a day like this. So we're looking at like 60% cloud cover. Hopefully we can get 30 or 40% power out of these guys. So let's get these panels out. Now the weight of these, you know what? Let's go ahead and take the opportunity and go ahead and weigh this thing. All right, let me lift it. And it's actually right at 21.5 pounds, something like that. Feels well put together. The frame is all aluminum. It's got what look to be good, solid aluminum hinges, and they're riveted on, so that's nice. There's a little leather strap that holds them from falling open. And as you open them up, and you can notice I'm opening up with the solar panel down. I'm trying to keep it from really just energizing. There are little stands so you can adjust the angle once you've got them out. And we'll open these up gingerly. And the full length of it extended out, it's 71 5/8 of an inch, so just under 6 feet. And it's 25.5 inches wide. Instead of trying to work down there on the deck of the boat, trying to demonstrate this, I'm gonna go ahead and get the battery out of this boat. And for those of you who watch the channel, you know that I usually have a pair of small lithium batteries, and I use those on another project, so I put this old lead acid battery on there, because this doggone thing weighs more than 2 lithium batteries combined. All right, let's go ahead and just set these up on an angle and see what we can generate. Let's go ahead and just see what the open circuit voltage is. And I'm just plugging directly into the wires coming from the solar panels. And we got 21.42, 21.5. So yeah, now it's 21.2. So there are some small variations, right? You can see how, you can see how overcast. You can see there's no real sun shining directly on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the charge controller with the battery clips on it, and let's see if we can get some current flowing into this battery that probably is at a pretty low state. All right, I've got the charger set for AGM batteries. This is not an AGM battery, but it doesn't have normal lead acid flooded battery, so but that's okay. It doesn't make a difference. The voltage should be the same, and the charge scenario should be pretty similar too. So now the little lights up here are sort of encoded. If the 100% one is flashing, that means that the battery is right at nearly full. So I guess the battery is pretty well charged. And we're showing 13.7 volts going in. Let's see if my multimeter agrees with it. Actually, my multimeter is showing a little higher voltage, 13.5. So the battery is charging. Let's check the amperage flow here, and I'm showing 7.37 amps. So that's a pretty good charge rate, especially with a kind of a semi-dumpy day. Right now, we've got some pretty good sunshine, but 7 amps is a good charge rate and definitely will keep your batteries up. So this is a lot of fun for me. I don't know if you guys are into this, but it's always very interesting to see how efficient products are. And this thing seems to be doing a really good job considering the sort of on again, off again, mostly off sunshine that we're getting. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait for us to get a good deep cloud and check it when it's really overcast and see what kind of amperage we're actually feeding into this battery. Right now, it's at 7.5 and increasing because the sun is getting brighter right now. While we're waiting, let's see what it does with a 100 amp hour lithium battery. So first thing I'm going to do is disconnect it, and then I'm going to change the battery mode, which is really easy to do. You just hold it for 3 seconds. It starts to flash, and then you just push it again to change to the next one. And we've got it on lithium now. And now we've got 14.5 volts. The 75% is flashing. So that means this one really does need a charge. Let's check the amperage draw on it. I'm getting right at 6.5 amps, 7 amps now that the sun's out, 7.9, 8 amps. That's almost its max, 9 amps. Here it goes. It's working its way up to 10 amps. There it is, 10.1. So yeah, we're getting its maximum output right here. So 10 amps at 13.8 volts is 138 watts, which is right at 70% of the output that this thing is capable of. And that's with a hazy sky and the angle of this thing not really optimal. And another nice little feature of this charge controller is that it's got a USB-A and a USB-C, so you can just plug right into it, and there you go. It's charging. It's at 60% and it's charging. So these things are really going to be coming in handy for me here for sure. But if you're into camping, or even if you don't camp, you should probably have one of these things. This is a battery pack. It's essentially a lithium battery inside a pack with a bunch of outlets, including 110 outlets, USB-A's and USB-C's. And what's nice is I can charge this thing. I don't really need that charge controller to charge our power pack. I can just find the right connector, which is this one, and plug in to our solar panel outputs, and we've got a charge going. This thing is showing 100% because I keep this thing charged up. It's my battery backup for my editing computer, because we get a lot of power outages here. All right, so there's nothing left to do other than put this thing out, set it up where it was intended to be, plug in our charge controller and our charging clamps, negative to negative, positive to positive, and I'm going to leave the charge controller down there to give it a little bit of coverage from the sun. Now I can be certain that my bilge pump will be working when the rains actually do come. Cross our fingers. Let's hope we get some rain. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get a discount code for this and put it in the description. I'm really happy with it. I think the performance of this thing is as good as I could have ever expected. The 200 watt panel I have on my little sailboat never puts out more than 160, even in a full-on sunny day. So this thing, I think, performs better than that one, and that was an expensive panel. I'll put a link for this guy in the description, and I'll put any discount code I can get out of these guys, so that if you need one of these, maybe you can save a little money. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back next time with more lure building stuff and experiments with lure building materials. I'll see you on the next one.